Hi everyone, welcome back to Module 4 Glossary. In the last class, I have explained that glossary here means a set of terms associated with literary criticism. We were examining the terms related to Indian poetics. We have discussed rasa and how it is accomplished. Then, three constituent elements of rasa. So these are the two important questions that you should expect from the previous class: rasa and how it is accomplished. Three constituent elements of rasa. The second one is important. The questions from this module will be comprising of 2-mark questions mostly. A question that should be explained in detail is the three constituent elements of rasa. It should be studied as a paragraph. Rest of the questions will be 2-mark questions. So let us move on to the other terms connected to Indian poetics. Dhwani. Dhwani means echo, murakam, matuli, shabdam. Dhwani is an important element in Indian poetics. According to Dhwani, artistic enjoyment from literary works is achieved how? Not by direct communication of the meaning, but by suggestions or indirect communication. Dhwani means the artistic enjoyment, the enjoyment that we derive from an artwork is not achieved by direct communication. However, it should be communicated indirectly or by suggestions. Only if you communicate by suggestions, only if you communicate indirectly, not directly, then only we will be able to call that dhwani. So dhwani means the indirect communication or suggestions through artworks, artistic works, literary works. The theory was introduced by Anandavardhana in his book Dhwanya Loga. So hope you understood dhwani. Dhwani means indirect communication or suggestion through a literary work or artwork. Vyanjana, next one, also has a similar meaning. Let us see. A word has three functions. It signifies, it directly gives meaning, signifies. It indicates, it points out. Third one, it suggests. This third function, in which the meaning is conveyed by means of suggestive power of the word, is called Vyanjana. So that is this. I have told you that it is connected with dhwani in one way. Word has three functions. It will be giving the meaning directly or signifies. It will be pointing out something, indicates something. It suggests something. This third function, in which the meaning is conveyed by means of the suggestive power of the word, it is called Vyanjana. It is important in poetry. In poetry, the word acquires the power of Vyanjana Vritti. Vyanjana Vritti means suggestive function. See, poetry is not like prose. Prose is easy for us to understand, but poetry is a bit difficult. Why we common readers feel that the poetry is a bit difficult to communicate? The reason is that poetry makes use of Vyanjana. Poetry only suggests meaning, not communicated directly. So in poetry, the word acquires the power of Vyanjana Vritti, suggestive function. The type of poetry in which the principle of Vyanjana reigns supreme is called Uttama Kavya. So the type of poetry in which the principle of Vyanjana is maintained supreme, maintained most importantly, such a poem is called Uttama Kavya. Uttama Kavya means uh, the best type of poetry. So if a question is asked Uttama Kavya, you can write the same answer. Let us see next. Alankara. Alankara. We have discussed a bit about Alankara in the last class. Alankara means figures of speech, ornaments. In literature, Alankara refers to figures used by the poet to achieve a desired effect. So Alankara can be described as ornaments. If poetry is considered as body, the ornaments over that body, they are Alankara. There are two types of Alankaras: Shabda Alankara, ornaments to words, and Artha Alankara, ornaments to meaning. In poetry, Alankaras are used as a means of deviation of expression. Deviation means not direct, it is somewhat turned to a different direction. Not a direct expression, indirect expression. In poetry, Alankaras are used as a means of indirect expression or deviation of expression. Why this indirect expression is used? It is to avoid plain statement. See, if we tell everything in a straightforward manner, there is no novelty in it. That is why we use Alankara in order to decorate it. As I said, if the body can be compared to the poem, the decorations on it, ornaments on it, that is the figures of speech. So, plain statement or Swabhavokti, it will be boring if you use it over and over again. So, we find a deviation of expression in order to make it, in order to bring novelty to it. So that is the role of Alankara in poetry. Alankara is used as ornament. This is also associated with it. Aojithya. What is Aojithya? Aojithyam. When using Alankara in poetry, the poets should maintain Aojithya or propriety and harmony to make the poem appealing and beautiful. So this is an instruction to the poets. If you are using Alankaras to make the poem beautiful, you should use carefully. You should have propriety and harmony. It should be the Alankaras used should be suitable to that occasion. സന്ദർഭത്തിന് യോജിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കണം. Aojithya means the ability to identify the relevance and function of Alankaras in poetry. So, Aojithya is the ability of a poet to make sure that this Alankara is suitable in this position. Otherwise, if the comparison is not apt, there is no purpose in using it. So that is Aojithya. What is the relation between Alankara and Rasa? I have already told you that Rasa means aesthetic emotion, effect produced by an artwork in a spectator. What is the connection between Alankara and Rasa? Alankaras should remain as ornaments and should not overpower the main element of the poem and should not be allowed to make the theme look insignificant. See, it is true that ornaments will decorate the body. True. But if you are using ornaments in excess, then it will be quite unpleasant. It is not healthy to the body. Such problems are there. So, Alankaras should be used as ornaments only. It should not overpower the main content of the poem. It should not be allowed to make the theme look insignificant. The theme should be the most important factor. Importance should not go towards Alankaras. This is the last line, is the exact, precise answer to this question. Alankara should be understood as a method for producing the desired rasa. So, Alankaras should be employed for producing the desired rasa. The poet will be knowing which is the desired emotion from this particular part of the poem. So, in order to achieve that particular desired rasa, Alankaras are used. So now literary movements in literature. I think you have already studied about catharsis. Catharsis or purgation. Catharsis is a Greek word meaning cleansing, cleaning, or purgation, washing out. It was used by Aristotle to describe the effect of tragedy, tragic drama, tragedy in the spectator. So it was used by Aristotle to describe the effect of tragedy in the spectator. A tragedy, through pity and fear, releases the excess emotions accumulated in the mind. This process is called catharsis or purgation. Actually, emotions which are not properly expressed will be accumulated in our mind. If it goes on accumulating in our mind, it will be unhealthy to our mind. So, when you watch a tragedy, such excess emotion stored within our heart, within our mind, will be flowing out. So, you will be relieved. This process in which the excess emotions are washed out of your mind, that is called catharsis or purgation. Now, mimesis according to Plato and Aristotle. Mimesis. Mimesis in Greek means imitation. Just to compare this word with mimicry, imitation. The root word is mimesis in Greek. Aristotle and Plato spoke of mimesis as a representation of nature. So Aristotle and Plato agree with this fact that mimesis is a form of representing nature. According to Plato, all artistic creation is a form of imitation. According to Aristotle, mimesis is a creative process. Once again, according to Plato, all artistic creation is a form of imitation. According to Aristotle, mimesis is a creative process. Now, an important term, objective correlative. Objective correlative is a term not first used by T.S. Eliot, but popularized by T.S. Eliot. What is this objective correlative? As the poet cannot transfer, convey, communicate his emotions directly to the readers, a mediator function should be used to convey the emotions. This mediatory element is called objective correlative, according to Eliot. So, Eliot was of the opinion that the poet cannot transfer the emotions in his mind directly to the readers. So, a mediator should be there in order to convey the emotions rightly to the reader. This mediatory element is called objective correlative, according to Eliot. Objective correlative is a set of objects, situation, a chain of events which will convey the emotion easily to the reader. So some objective correlatives are employed by poets. Objective correlative is a set of objects, a situation, a chain of events which will convey the emotion easily to the reader. So learn these terms, that is rasa and how it is accomplished. 3 constituent elements of rasa. This is important. This is a paragraph question. The rest of the questions will be short answer questions, 2-mark questions, as this is a glossary. So learn Dhvani, Vyanjana, role of Alankara in poetry, Aojithya, relation between Alankara and Rasa, and in literary movements, catharsis or purgation, mimesis according to Plato and Aristotle, and finally objective correlative. Okay, we have 10 more terms from this part which will be given in the next class, and we will be completing the glossary part by the next class. Thank you.